There we are.
Oh,
we still don't know who made that intro and what that song is, but whatever it is, it's Tuesday or whatever day of the week it is. Thank you for joining us. And this is Q&A presented by Sportskeeda and shown exclusively here on Sportskeeda WrestleVotes YouTube channel. While you're here, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you have not done so already, join the over 92,000 others and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on all the latest and breaking news in the world of professional wrestling.
Good idea. Plus
lots of great programming such as this show. Again, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Joe What a Day Lowry. And as always, we are joined by two wrestling insiders who are here to answer your questions. First up, he's a Hall of Fame wrestling journalist. He is also the senior editor of Sportskeeda Wrestling. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Bill Apter. Welcome,
By
Bill.
the way, and I can tell you that music was not done by Quincy Jones.
Oh, was not. He's not.
Okay.
He's not around anymore.
That's right. So
it's funny you say Quincy Jones. I grew up in Quincy, Massachusetts, and we pronounced it Quincy.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, also on deck with us is the man who gets the news before it breaks, and he never shows his face. Let's welcome to the show, Joey from WrestleVotes Radio. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, Bill and Joe. What a Day Lowry. Pleasure to be with you guys here again on another Tuesday night. And I'd imagine we have a lot to cover tonight, so very excited about it.
What a week. Oh, my goodness. This was the week that was.
The week that was. And, before we get started, let's address the elephant in the room. This whole RTruth scenario is a work. No matter which angle you approach it from, this thing was a work from the beginning. I think last night's segment with RTruth cutting off the hair was further proof, but something else came to mind. And that is when RTruth put his tweet out last Sunday morning, we never got word from WWE that he was actually released. We found out Dakota Kai was released, Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville, Cora Jade, Braun Strowman, the list goes on. They put it out there, and WWE didn't even acknowledge it. But by the way, then we get the chants on Raw, the chants during NXT, and then the big chants that were recognized by John Cena on SmackDown. And here we go. RTruth 6 days later shows up at Money in the Bank. So this is, after he's released 6 days, this is crazy. Then he shows up on Raw, cuts his hair, and now uses the real name Ron, the Truth Killings. And by the way, he followed me for some reason on X, which I thought was pretty cool. But I think the storyline is like the old game show, To Tell the Truth. If you remember that game show, the truth.
Here's what I'm hoping we're going to get. I hope with him cutting his dreadlocks and doing all that stuff, and him saying that the truth has set him free and he's now Ron Killings, I hope the character that we loved so much, the mixed up guy who couldn't tell one person from another, so to say, in a faction, and was getting confused with who he was supposed to team with and all this, I hope that guy is going to stay. I'm hoping that it's going to be maybe a split personality situation. I think that would be entertaining. Ron Killings was great as wrestling as Ron Killings in TNA and all the indies that I used to see him in. But I want to make sure that that kind of far-fetched RTruth stays in WWE as well.
Yeah. And Joe, real quickly, what did you think last night? RTruth cutting his hair. What's up with that?
I don't know. I was surprised at that. Maybe to differentiate the characters now of RTruth and what he's going forward as Ron Killings. Joe, I love the theory. I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory, but I love the passion that you believe this is a work. I'm under the belief that it was totally legitimate. Don't think they would have gone the lengths that we can talk about. They did. They involved other people, maybe not directly, but Carlito and Sarah Logan also let go. I think that's probably a little beneath the company to involve a storyline into real life stuff like that. So to group him in there, his son was very adamant on Instagram after the press conference.
No, I get it. I get it.
Kathy Kelly deserves an Emmy if she was acting during the press conference. So I would say it's all legitimate. I know employees that I've talked to believe he was legitimately let go, and they listened and they came to terms. But I don't know if we'll ever 100% know everything that happened.
No, I don't think we will.
It should be.
Yeah, we won't.
If it was a work and they worked the talent They worked the boys, so to say. It was amazing. And the other rumor going around is that he was not released by the WWE side, but is released from the TKO side. And if that actually happened, which I don't think it did, that would be like, are we looking at what happened when WCW was, when corporate started running them? That's why I don't think that happened.
I think the point I'm trying to get through, the emphasis I'm trying to provide to the people is when I say it's a work, even if he was really let go, if he was released, he was, all that stuff. Miraculously, they turned it into a storyline. So yes, I agree. Kathy Kelly deserves an Emmy Award. Everybody was in on this. And I think we are entering the new wave of how storylines in social media are now going to interact. So whether it was legit or not, whatever side you're looking at, it was an angle. They turned it into a work. I think it was a work all along. Maybe he was released by TKO, but we never got an announcement. There was no official announcement that, hey, Ron, 20-year veteran, RTruth has been let go. Because that would have been a big, social media post by WWE or TKO. That, but instead we get Ron Killings putting out a tweet on Sunday morning saying he was released, and he goes on to thank the fans and all that stuff. But that's my take on it. I think it was a work.
Joe, what a work.
What a work it was. All right, this is Q&A. We got a lot of questions coming in. I even have to go to the live page because we're getting so much questions. So if I do not get to your question, I know there's a lot of RTruth questions out there. Again, it's a big story that's going around, especially with him cutting his hair on Raw this past week on Monday. So, we'll get to those questions. But
wait, believe it or not, the hair have been fake? Could have been like wigged dreadlocks?
I just saw he put a video out of his new hairdo, and it's just
I'm just joking.
No, I mean, he did. He just put out a social media post on Instagram that shows him with his new do. He unveiled it. So, we got Ron the Truth Killings now. So it's going to be interesting to see. And Dr. Chris Featherstone reported just yesterday that there is a huge chance that he's fighting John Cena next Monday night on Raw for the championship. So that'll be remain to be seen. Things could change, but who knows? But this is Q&A. And
wait, if they change the title there, then Saudi Arabia would be Ron Killings against CM Punk.
No kidding. Yeah, you never know. All right, DJ Lundy's chiming in. He wants to know, creative-wise, I'll ask Joe first. What would you do with this Ron Killings storyline? Where do we go from here with RTruth?
Creatively, if I've got the pencil here, I'd love to see it end up as a career versus title match. I mean, that's
really okay.
Makes the most sense in my opinion. For whatever reason, before he was released, the match against John Cena last Saturday night was a non-title match. So storyline wise, they can say he never got his title match, and now he's going to put his career on the line because of everything that's happened. So I think that's a nice story to tell. I think they could do it at SummerSlam. Do I know that for sure? Certainly not, but that's what I would do.
Bill, what do you think about that creative wise? Where do you go with
that? It's a great angle. It's a great angle, Joe. WrestleVotes. I love it. I think it has to be RTruth and John Cena, no matter what the storyline, no matter what the angle is. Right now, their focus is on the match with CM Punk. They're promoting the Saudi Arabia thing, but somehow they've got to have some sort of interaction with Cena and Ron Killings during the weeks leading up to that. And maybe Ron Killings interferes and causes John Cena the title in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, you never know. I just want to know what character we're going to get with Ron Killings now. We're going to get the, RTruth was kind of funny and did his shtick. What are we going to get now with RTruth?
I want them both.
Yeah. You never know. He could turn into either or. That'd be kind of good.
He could have a whole, thinking that he's two different people. And
exactly.
Which one are we going to get next week? That type of thing. I love it.
All right. Next question. It's a two-parter, one for WrestleVotes and one for Bill Apter. First one is for WrestleVotes. This is from Tony Khan, the schmuck. You got to love that username. He says for WrestleVotes, it's kind of disrespectful to JC Jane to just have her lose her title. He says so I'm assuming Mariah May, when it should have been one of the NXT originals. With that being said, how long do you see Mariah's NXT run being, Joe?
Quite a while. I don't think she's there for the short term. I wouldn't be surprised if she's on Stand and Deliver next year, the day before WrestleMania, as their big female star, or, just in general, their star. I'd imagine she's there for a while.
Okay. Bill, what do you think?
I would imagine that we might see her as a surprise entrant on Evolution. She might be on that show, even if it's just a cameo or something, just to show her out there.
Okay. And this question, Tony Khan, the Schmuck, asking for Bill Apter. If Saraya, a.k.a. Paige, comes back to the WWE, does she go full-time, or is there a Legends deal to mentor the younger talent? What do you think her angle will be?
I think she'll go full-time. I think people want to see her. Mr. Schmuck, I think that people want to see her in the ring, because we never got to see enough of her in the ring at AEW. So can she mentor some of the other talent? Probably, but I think they're bringing her back for an in-ring talent. That's my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, she's got plenty of gas in the tank, so that'd be interesting. All right, moving on here. A lot of questions. Look at these. This one's kind of funny here. Lucky 3Y Charm saying, why the hell did they start teasing Finn and Dominic's tension right after Bad Blood in October? If they weren't going to pull the trigger until 10 months later, ? That's absolutely ridiculous. And it makes me wonder if they've made a bunch of pivots along the way. I don't see the question here. Why the hell? So Finn and Dominic kind of took a break last night. Joe, what do you think's happening with that?
Yeah, don't disagree. They've been on and off since, I would say, before Bad Blood, where where he's talking about there. I don't know. It seems like one week they're headed towards a divorce, and then the next week, the Judgment Day is stronger than ever. So I'm not sure what they're doing with this storyline.
Yeah. Bill, what do you think's going on there?
Totally agree with that. They're just, they're teasing it in the long term until there's something that they do angle-wise that will make the two of them explode against each other. Okay.
Excellent. Todd J, a.k.a. the Jake Man's asking, I'll go, Bill, you first. Chad Gable's match at Worlds Collide with I have trouble pronouncing his name.
Vikingo.
Okay. I think Vikingo was amazing at Money in the Bank. El Grande Americano, and again on Raw, Gable's match with AJ Styles was also good, but Chad Gable did not win any of them. With all his hard work and great matches, does he eventually get a title in the WWE? What do you think, Bill?
Well, I'd like to see him get a title. I'd like to see Americano get the title, but I want to say that AAA card, and with that as the main event, as the topper, the whole show was wrestling.
Yep.
Was perfect, and the entertainment value was perfect. I think if you had the AAA show, Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank next to each other, and the fans had a vote that they saw both of them, which one blew them away more, it was Worlds Collide, in my opinion.
Definitely. Yeah, Worlds Collide was great. Joe, did you catch that Saturday afternoon wrestling AAA?
Oh, sure did. Thought it was outstanding, like Bill said. I was entertained from the minute it started until the second it was over. Great job by all the performers, but the main event really was special. I think Chad Gable's a heck of a performer.
Sure.
And he showed it all weekend long. So to the answer of the question, yeah, I'd imagine he gets a title at some point. He's going to get rewarded for this work he's been doing.
Keep in mind that, people are all looking at this as it's new, but back in the 70s, on UHF TV from the Olympic Auditorium is where I saw Mil Mascaris, El Solitario, El Psychedelico, Black Gordman, Goliath, and all these people from the Olympic Auditorium.
Tiger Mask.
Well, he wasn't at the Olympic. That was Japan. But all these wrestlers, luchadors with and without masks, and I couldn't wait for Saturday nights to see that those shows from the Olympic Auditorium. So I'm glad the fans of today are getting to experience what I saw back in the 70s, brand new and just looking great.
Right. A real quick shout out to Conan and Corey Graves, who provided
Oh, man.
excellent commentary. Conan was explaining it to everybody, their style, their backgrounds. One, kudos to WWE for even showing the background of each wrestler, because obviously we don't know these guys, and it seemed like the old school days where they would show the video package and then the wrestler, and it was great. It was a great it was shockingly appeasing, is how I call it, for Saturday afternoon, because I really didn't expect much at 3:00 in the afternoon. But evidently they broke a few YouTube records with viewership there.
Well,
So
it was 12:00 in the afternoon there. So
yeah, exactly. So it was a great show nonetheless. All right, good question there. Let's get to the next one here. This one's from Lucky Charm again. This looks like a long one here. Is it safe to assume that Nikki Bella specifically requested to work with Liv? He adds that I assume she wouldn't return if she didn't have the creative she wanted. He's also happy that Liv is getting another marquee feud to work with, since the Rhea feud overstayed its welcome and left a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouth. I debate that one right there. I truly think she's the best storyteller in the women's division and has the most fleshed out character, whatever that means. Joe, Nikki Bella, Liv Morgan, did you have that on your bingo card? I didn't.
No, I didn't. I'd like to answer the question. I don't know if she requested it. I'm sure it was presented to her with a few options, and this is maybe what she said okay to. But it seems like, I mean, I'm not reporting this. It just seems like we're getting Liv and Raquel versus the Bella Twins at Evolution, and
really,
that's a decent sized matchup. So, if that's the case, I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent, Bill. What do you think about that?
I think Liv Morgan couldn't wait to work against either Bella, so to say. That's she working against a legend in the business, and plus maybe it's going to be tied into some reality things that the Bellas have coming up in the future, and it gives Liv Morgan such a great platform to work against these two legends, or just the legend of Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, Joe. Bella Twins versus Liv Kel at Evolution. But long-term storytelling, that could be the case.
That would be great. That would be great.
Had a little to do there. They haven't defended the tag team belts in a long time. Liv seems to be involved in a lot of these Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Last night she lost for the Queen of the Ring. So, it looks like Roxanne Perez is going to be having that year that Liv Morgan had last year. I can see a title going on her pretty soon. But interesting note, though, the Bella Twins taking on Liv Kel at Evolution. That's good stuff there.
WrestleVotes, Joe, quick question here. Did you think that Nikki Bella's rhythm came back naturally? Did you feel she was where she should have been in her time back with the face-to-face with Liv Morgan?
I thought for her first time back like that, it was fine. Certainly wasn't as crisp as maybe she was 8 or 9 years ago, but I thought she did a fine job.
Okay.
I got one question for Nikki Bella, if she's listening. Why did you wear jeans out to the ring last night? She does her little twirl at the beginning, and of course the emphasis is on her backside. So it was kind of interesting to see that she wore jeans, but it is what it is. So hopefully we'll see that matchup at Evolution. That'd be pretty cool. Another RTruth questionnaire, Todd J, the AK Jake Man 68. So of course the big question was RTruth being let go and returning as Ron Killing. He's asking, and you guys can answer it again. Was it a work, or did TKO or Triple H really listen to the fans? Yes or no, Bill Apter?
I'm split.
Split?
Could be both.
Okay, Joe?
No, I'm sticking with it. It was a shoot. I mean, I just have to go off of what other people told me. I've spoken to some people that would never be in the conversation of getting worked. So, you know what I mean? That type of thing.
Will we ever know for sure?
Yeah, we'll never know. That's the magic of it. I think this is the new age of storytelling. I'm telling you right now. They just had the test, and social media is now going to be a new catalyst for storytelling with the WWE. All right, moving on. Michael Franey, he's asking WrestleVotes. You can answer it today, or maybe do some research for Thursday. He wants to know what's going on with Ludwig Kaiser. Seems like he's been completely taken out of creative. Yeah, what's up with Ludwig Kaiser? Do you know anything?
I don't know anything than anybody else. I don't know what happened to him. He was when Raw on Netflix started, he was wrestling regularly. He was at least cutting promos regularly. There was a shot he was going to be on the WrestleMania card, and then all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll look into it, like the guy said. I'll hopefully have a update on Thursday, but I don't know what happened to him and his creative. I have no idea.
Okay. All right, Todd J, aka the Jake Man's
wait, hold on. I want to answer that as well.
Look, well, that was strictly for WrestleVotes. But
I'm sorry, I didn't know, but I'm going to chime in anyway.
Of course you are.
Now with Gunther as champion again, they can have some creative with Ludwig Kaiser coming back and wanting a shot at the ring general.
There he is, the new world champion Raw last night. Real quickly, what did you guys think of Bill, what did you think of the ending?
I thought the whole match was terrific. Everybody thought that it was going to be a squash match. Totally. They did 20, 25 minutes with a ton of false finishes.
Yeah.
And for the way for Jey Uso to go out without saying I quit and have the referee stop the match because he was out, there's always that little question. I don't think Jey Uso lost anything for his character, but I'm glad to see there was no shtick afterwards, that Seth Rollins didn't come in and attack Gunther or whatever. I'm glad they made it it was a good wrestling match. It was all right.
Joe, over to you. Do you think that was the worst kept secret of the night with that match with Gunther winning the title back?
No. I think a lot of people were surprised. A lot of people watching were stunned. I talked to some people who didn't know it was going down. So I think they did a good job at keeping the mystery of what was going to happen, whether it be a cash in or, a quick roll up on Jay's part or whatever. But not many people had Jay passing out to lose the title at the end of the show. So I was entertained and I enjoyed it.
Exactly. Good stuff there. Good stuff. All right, moving on here. Todd J's also. All right, we're going over the bloodline now. So with Fatu going against Solo and JC Mateo, do you think Jimmy Uso will team up with Jacob? Joe, I'll let you answer that first.
I mean, they could. Why not? Jimmy Uso's not doing anything. Seems like Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo will be a tandem. So if Jacob needs somebody now, you look to the bloodline of the past. I could see it.
Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, same thing. Exactly what Joe WrestleVotes just said.
I think the bloodline is such, I don't want to call it disarray, but it was the biggest storyline last year, and now it's it's fizzled out. I think now is a good time to bring in the new guys. I think the Zilla's got to get in. They got to get the new guys in there to get this thing going again. That's what I think. I think we're going to see another debut down the line of somebody in the bloodline to give this thing a spark. Because right now, I don't think, nothing against JC Mateo and all that, but I don't think he gave the bloodline storyline that spark. Do you guys agree with that, Bill?
Yeah, I do, because last week when he worked, he was getting beaten up quite a bit for a guy that they were bringing in as a monster.
Yeah,
he was getting killed quite a bit. I want to see Jacob Fatu against Bronson Reed, or against Bronson Reed. That's who I want to see, or against Braun Breaker. You got all these crazy guys going against each other. I think it'd be great.
Joe, what do you think?
Joe, my main question coming out of this is, how serious are they going to push Jacob Fatu as a babyface? Because if they get behind him, I think the fans will join that, and he can shoot up the card really, really quick. And I'm not sure they want that speed behind it, if that makes sense. So I'm interested to see how this plays out now that he's a babyface, because he's already got a lot of support. So very interested.
I think the big question now with him turning babyface for Jacob Fatu is, it's still all gas and no brakes. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got to do something to slow this down. If the slow build doesn't seem like it's relevant with Jacob Fatu. But all right, moving on. Matthew Ham, our regular, got a question here. When is Ilja Dragunov expected back? Joe, you know anything on this?
Last I heard of him was about 6 weeks ago now. He was down at the PC.
Okay.
I don't know if he was doing anything inside the ring. I know he was there. Usually that indicates things are getting close or closer. So maybe soon, but I can't say for sure.
Phil, what do you think? Ilja Dragunov?
He's been off the radar. So don't know.
All right, good stuff. Looks like we got a new question here. Joseph Murphy's chiming in here. He wants to know, do you see Drew McIntyre ever getting another extended run with the world title in front of fans again? It seems like he's always pushed to the side in favor of other stars post-COVID, like the forgotten man. Yeah, he was the world champion during COVID era. He never defended the title in front of anybody, except for the computerized audience there. Bill, what do you think? You think Drew's going to come back?
He's got another run left in him, in my opinion. Okay. Absolutely.
Yep. Joe, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, don't disagree. He'll be a champ a few times over before it's done, in my opinion.
I was shocked that he turned 40 years old this week.
I know.
I was like, wow, 40. He looks amazing for 40 years old. Good stuff there. And Matthew Ham's got a bunch of questions that
he's a ham.
He's a ham. That's right. Okay, right off the bat, guys. Maybe we'll do word stuff here. Who is Gunther's first challenger? Bill Apter, Gunther's first challenger.
Oh, that's a good. Well, it's probably going to be Jey Uso in a rematch. I would think that would be the most logical, or could be Ludwig Kaiser. Who knows?
Oh, there you go, Joe. Any thing on your radar there for Gunther to work with?
Yeah, I mean, if they're being technical here, the first challenger probably a rematch, like Bill said. But the first new challenger, I'd imagine, is Goldberg. I mean, that's
I heard
where
that.
we were going before he won the title last night.
I didn't think of that.
I don't think it's changed. So,
do you think
the date on the calendar is July 12th?
Oh, okay. All right. So you don't think he's going to Saudi with anybody? You don't think Gunther will be in Saudi?
Yeah, I mean, him and Jay could have that rematch there if he's on the card. But I think as far as new challengers go, we're about a month away from this Saturday night's main event, and that's supposedly the target for him and Goldberg. So,
okay. All right,
I hope Goldberg's going to be able to put up a good showing, whoever he's against. I just want him to look really good in this final match.
Yeah. According to his social media post, Goldberg's almost there, almost at 100%. He says it's taken him a while. I think he had an injury or some kind. Joe, did you hear about that?
Yeah, he was training. I don't think he did anything serious, but maybe a little setback. So hopefully, when the bell rings, whatever this match happens, he's good to go, like Bill said.
Yep.
You got to look at it like a boxer who looks great in training, and then he gets in the ring and doesn't look the same. So it's the same thing with pro wrestling, is that you can look great in training, but what happens in the ring just might not be as good. I'm hoping it's going to be exceptional for him. He deserves it.
I hope it's not a Mike Tyson appearance. That's all I'm afraid of.
Yeah. Good.
All right.
Good.
Matt M, he wants to know who I really don't understand this question. I'm just going to read it. Who is the mystery person in King of the Ring?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's one mystery person missing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it is. Maybe it'll be Drew McIntyre.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I thought we were going to get this, so I prepared a little bit. Don't know who it is for sure.
Okay.
The grouping of the guys that he'll be in there with, Sheamus and Miro and Bronson Reed, feels a lot like Ilja Dragunov. Again, I don't know if he's healthy. If he is healthy, that's a nice matchup for him to jump back in. They're all big bruiser type. More realistically, how about Ron Killings?
Yeah.
If he wants to win and get the automatic title shot, it makes sense. One I'll throw out there. I don't think it'll happen, but crazier things have gone on, especially in this year. What if it's Mr. Iguana?
Oh, I would love to see that. I'm a big fan already.
That'd be great.
He looks like hot now as it'll ever be, right?
He looks like green dust.
Yeah, that was the biggest surprise and the biggest hit of the night there. I thought that was great. I'd love to. Obviously, he's going to be seen again. We're recording on a Tuesday night, and NXT's coming up. And last week it was Mariah May. Mr. Iguana could possibly make an appearance tonight. We don't know.
You're not kidding, Joe.
He's been trending on social media. I'm going to put that out there now. I'm not saying he's going to be there, but it just seems like NXT is full of surprises every week. Especially with Mariah May. We did not see that coming last week.
I just got it. Mariah May, they never said her name. She comes in as Mrs. Iguana.
Mrs. Iguana.
Right?
Yeah. You never know. That'd be different.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I could see that little
I
thing.
love it.
All right. All right. Here's a good question. Matthew Ham. Last question from Matthew is: who is Io Sky facing at Evolution? Joe, I'm going to go with you on this one. What challenges are out there?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer. I'd imagine it's Rhea Ripley. I know that doesn't excite a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if I was booking the show right now, that's the slot that it fits. So as of tonight, I would say it's Rhea.
Okay. Bill, what do you think?
Could be Lyra. Looking for a spot for Lyra again. Could be Lyra.
Absolutely could be.
I'll throw it out there, and I know you guys think this might be offbeat, but what about Mariah May? What if they throw her in there just to see what she can do?
I don't think they're going to do that.
No, but but it's you never know. You just never know.
Lady No Name. No idea.
Lady No Name. All right, so I'm going to go to the live questions here. Matt McMillan, since the fans demanded his return to WD, how big of a push is Ron Killings going to get? I think we kind of figured that out this past week on Raw. But Bill, do you think
huge?
You think he's going to be on Raw every week now? He's going to get shown?
I don't know if it'll be every week, but even if it's just vignettes or something, they're going to keep him in the loop. Yeah. They brought him back because people want to see him. People in the WWE universe are tuning in to see him.
Right. Okay. Joe, what do you think?
No, that's exactly what Bill's correct there. They want to see him now, not in 3 or 4 weeks. So I'd imagine the push over the next month or so is going to be huge. And hopefully it leads to a match with John Cena.
Yep. And that match, according to Dr. Chris Featherstone here at Sportskeeter, says it might happen this Monday at Raw. So expect something big to happen there. Philbo's asking, I believe WrestleVotes predicted this, but he wanted to ask, do you still think the trigger on the Liv Morgan, Dominic versus Finn Balor and Roxanne feud will be pulled at Night of Champions in a couple of weeks, which will lead to this feud at SummerSlam? What do you think? You think they're going to push this?
I could see that tag match for sure happening at SummerSlam. Right. Don't know how Night of Champions is involved there, but SummerSlam for sure.
Right. Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go along with what Joe says.
I think whatever Roxanne Perez does, Liv Morgan's going to be in tow. I think if she's about to win something, Liv Morgan's going to say no. So, because that little skit past week on Raw, she kind of agreed with her and walked away. So I have a feeling we're going to see more of this.
By the way, what's interesting here is that here in the United States, Night of Champion is really Days of Champion.
Yeah, you're right.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, more live questions coming in. Michael Ugakwe is coming in. Do we expect more calls from NXT before and after the draft if it happens? Okay, that's a two-parter. Joe, I'll ask you. Any word on the draft?
No. I know, the only thing we know is they want to do one. And I know that's not groundbreaking, but we've heard conversations that they're looking to do one. Just a date has not popped up yet. So nothing on the date as far as NXT goes. Yeah, I'd imagine you're going to get more and more NXT talent coming up by the week. So, yeah.
Bill, who would you call up from NXT if you had a choice?
No draft. They're just calling up the National Guard.
There's no riots in NXT. Come on.
Right. I don't see them calling anybody up from there right now. I think more interestingly, from instead of NXT, I think they're going to bring more people up from AAA.
Yeah.
Right.
I just see there's some more luchadors. And have you noticed they're not really doing anything much with moving people from Evolve into a roster?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's
going
on.
What do you think about that with Evolve?
I think it's a purely developmental show there, Bill. We've seen a couple of talent. Swipe Right, I think their name is Brad Baylor, and another kid. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But we've seen them on NXT a little bit, but I don't think you're going to go from Evolve to NXT fairly quickly here. So I think that show is just used for truly developmental purposes.
Okay.
Right. The developmental of the developmental, because that's what NXT is supposed to be.
Right. You're right.
I haven't gotten word. I don't know what the ratings have been like with Evolve. I don't know. It's a, what are they on Wednesday nights?
They're streaming.
Yeah.
So
they're
there's
streaming.
there's no real ratings.
Yeah. Okay. True. That is true. All right. Let me get back over to the live question side. I saw a good question here. This is an AEW question from Kevin Kellum. How is
Double
AEW?
K? Wait, that's one of our great correspondents here
from Q101 in Chicago. How is AEW pivoting around WWE running big broadcasted premium events on the same day as their big premium broadcasted events? Bill, do you think this is being done strategically by Triple H and TKO? It seems that the WWE's counter programming with AEW on the big shows. What do you think?
I don't think it's Triple H. I think it's the company. I think it's the company that runs the business end of WWE, and they're looking at where the AEW is and saying, well, why don't we do something close to that or near that? So yeah, it's competition. WWE TKO does not consider AEW competition, but they want to be in the same places that AEW is when they're there.
Yeah. Joe, what do you think? Coincidence or planned?
Planned, 100%, Joe. One time is coincidence, 7 or 8 times now is not so. But I do want to commend Tony Khan. When they heard that Saturday night's main event was running on the same day, all these months ago as All In, he decided to change the start time. So 3:00 in the afternoon with an American show as their biggest show of the year is a comeback to, if you want to run at the same time, I'll change my show. So good on him. And I bet you it'll work.
Great. That is good stuff. All right. Just getting here. Oh, here's our Marcel got his weekly question. You ready? Which international countries are being considered for a premium live event in 2026? Bill, Joe, anybody?
It will be when Brock Lesnar comes back.
Joe,
I
you
have
got
no clue.
any ideas for 2026? Joe?
Nothing more than what we've reported about Italy and Mexico. The other countries could pop up at a drops of a hat notice. So I have no idea.
Well, isn't India
Italy?
Isn't India going to be possibly run in 2026?
Yeah, that might be on the radar. I mean, they did the big media junket last month with Liv and Dom. So there's a reason behind that. And now WWE is streaming on Netflix over there. So, that brings up another topic really quick. I'm seeing on social media posts, real genuine reporters saying that the ratings aren't that stellar for Raw on Monday night because I saw a really good article. They talked about Netflix audiences are people that just stream whenever they want to. They don't want to be regulated to having to sit down on a Monday night and watching a 2.5-hour program. It's more, there's probably more traction the next day or whatever. Bill, do you think the ratings for the WWE Raw are suffering? Are they going down? What do you think?
I think it's a week-to-week situation when people, for example, with RTruth right now back, I think the ratings, the amount of people watching it will be huge next Monday. So it depends what they're doing. It's just like any TV show or sport. If you have an interest in a particular story or game or whatever, you're going to watch it. So,
Joe, what do you think?
A lot of people still don't have Netflix.
That is true.
Remember that. Remember that.
But India has Netflix now, and they could hit the millions mark over there, billions. Joe, what do you think? You think the ratings are a little bit stagnant with Raw on Monday night?
Joe, I like the point that you brought up. You're reading that article about how people don't watch maybe in the moment. With that said, I think WWE and Netflix are happy with the cumulative numbers as a whole. Sure. If you look at it over the course of a week, how many people are watching the show? I think it's probably about what they projected. Maybe not in the moment, but it's different when you stream like that. It doesn't have to be in the moment. So I think they're happy with it.
I got to give a shout out to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. He does a really detailed, he gets into the Netflix streaming numbers and so forth, and he puts out some good,
he's terrific.
Good articles on that. And, I think last night, this past Monday Night on Raw, that was a packed show. That was an action-packed show from start to finish. I thought it was a great Raw. I wasn't tuning out. I wasn't fading out or looking or doing anything else. It had my attention. And of course, a lot of things happened last night. And, I at this point, when you go into a streaming service, I do believe that they're surrendering that ratings war type of thing, that they just, WWE is now available to millions of people worldwide. So that's the audience they're looking at. It's no longer North America. They're looking elsewhere. Obviously, India is a big target for them. So let's see.
The home of Sportskeeda.
The home of Sportskeeda.
Right.
That is correct. Let me see. We got any more questions here? I think that was the last one. Just double checking here. JC Jane, RTruth. And that is it. No Nikki Bella questions. That is the last questions. Good stuff there. We got all the questions in, guys. First time in a long time we've gotten all the questions in. What do you think of that, Bill?
Great. Well, I want to comment and say that hoping the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who came out this week and mentioned that he had skin cancer, to keep wooing, and hopefully you'll recover and be wooing for many, many more years.
Yeah, that man survived a plane crash. I think he can survive anything.
That's the first time I met him, about 2 months after that plane crash.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice. What do you think? What do you think,
Wow.
Joe? Nature Boy Ric Flair going to beat the skin cancer deal?
Oh, if anybody can do it, it's him. Look at what he's been through, and how he keeps coming out on top. So I have faith in the Nature Boy here.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up, folks. We got all the questions in for the first time in a long, long time. This is good stuff here. Bill, what's on your docket for the week? You got some stuff coming up?
Well, lots of stuff coming up. Podcasts, of course, with Teddy Long and Mad Mac Davis. I still have to find out what he's mad about on WrestleBinge, and also live earlier this evening and every Tuesday at 11 p.m. with Dr. Chris Featherstone on WrestleBinge Unscripted. Yeah.
Good stuff there. Dr. Chris Featherstone does a lot of great reporting for Sportskeeda, as well as Joe from WrestleVotes. As always, Joe, what are you going to tease us with for this Thursday show?
We got some NXT PLE location news. I think people get excited for that. LA Knight stuff. I got something on LA Knight coming up.
Ooh,
a potential new tag team that they've been throwing around that people may enjoy. So we'll see.
Yeah, we got to get the WWE tag team division back into some sort of. I mean, for the Wyatts to come out and kill like 5 tag teams all at once, it's just the tag team division really needs a real injection of talent and steady tag teams. I miss the tag team divisions back in WCW and other federations. There were so many great tag teams, and now you think of what have we got here? We've got the New Day. We've got
you had them all. You had them all together on SmackDown.
Yeah,
I thought that was impressive. All 5 tag teams were there. You had Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that segment, Joe? All the tag teams are going to go after the Wyatt 6 now.
Yeah, I think it makes sense due to the fact that their character, they need numbers against them to make it work. It's hard when you're booking this group. They have to stay strong or they really can't be used. So we'll see if they get the belts. I think the Profits are doing a nice job, but we'll see.
What we're talking about the Wyatt 6. Do you think Alexa Bliss is going to wind up back with them? Because I do.
She's coming out with her doll. She's doing the Abigail. What's scary to me, and I don't know if you notice this, but what's his name? The leader of the Wyatt 6. I'm drawing a blank on
Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy. I was going to say Taylor Rotunda, but
that would have worked.
Nonetheless, that video that came out last week, that little promo, my God, he looked just like his brother Bray Wyatt.
Didn't he? Oh,
I
yeah.
thought sure he was going to put Bray Wyatt's hat on and make a return. I was like, it was scary. What'd you guys think of that, Bill?
Yeah. No, I thought the exact same thing you just thought.
Yeah. Joe?
Yeah, they're 100% brothers. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah, good stuff there. Unbelievable.
By the way, down here in Apter's Alley, and I'll see if I can show this to you. I have my own memorial to.
Holy cow! I got to get down to Apter's Alley. I got to get down there.
Can you see that?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
The rocking chair. Nice.
Yeah, the rocking chair and the hat.
Nice.
So, and oops, if I can do this. Well, there's a lantern down here that's stuck. So it is. This is only airtime, gang. Hang on a minute. Here it is. So right now, right now,
the lantern
for my closing segment, I'm here.
I'm here. He is here. We are all here. And that's going to wrap up our show, folks. But I want to just really quick thank all of our viewers who sent in questions for tonight's show. We do this every week. So if you have a question, just drop it in the comments on all Sports Geekers Wrestling social media pages, and they will grab them from here. You can even ask a question during the show. They'll grab it, and we'll tune it in for next week. But, you got to join this channel. Over 92,000. I think they're almost at 93,000. They keep growing. Subscribers have already done so. What are you waiting for? That's the question. Joe, what are you waiting for? You got to join Sports Key to Wrestle Binge, right?
That's right. Everybody hop on.
You got to get the latest breaking news in the world of professional wrestling. Join this channel today. And as always, I'm Joe Lowry, and this is where I leave it up to Bill and Joe to take us home. Joe, I guess I'll see you
at the matches.
Oh, my God. What a crazy ending.